Hello everyone, it's Jennifer here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started with VBA. I will first open a new workbook. The first thing I'll do is to save this workbook with XLSM extensions. You have to save as and change the extension to Excel Macro Enable Workbook, XLSM. When that is done, go back to this window. I will enable VBA window I will access VBA window by go to developer and click on Visual Basics. If your developer tab is not enabled, you need to enable it by go to File, Options, Customize Ribbon, and click on Developer box on your right hand side. Another way to access Visual Basic window is to press Alt F11. So here's the VBA window. I'm just going to put it side by side with the workbook so it will be easier for us to see. In the VBA window, insert a module, which is an object to store your code. So go to tab, insert, go to the insert tab and select module. Within the module, you can create one or more subroutines. Subroutine is an object to store a set of commands. It starts with sub and ends with end sub. Say for example, I would like to create a subroutine called pizza. I would type sub pizza brackets, press enter. The end sub would automatically appear. Now within sub and end sub, you can write some commands to direct Excel to do what you want. For example, I will ask Excel to fill in the cell A1 with value, for example, barbecue for example, and cell A2 with value Hawaiian. So I would type range A1 brackets equal to barbecue. I will do the same for cell A2. I type range A2 equal to Hawaiian. Okay, so now you can run this code there's two ways to do it. You can press F8, which will run one command after another, like as you can see here, right? Or you can just press F5 and the whole command will be run at the same time. So I go back to this VBA window, I press F5, you see it run at the same time. Okay. You can add some comment within your code by starting the sentence with a single quotation mark, just like what I'm doing here. These comments can be very useful when you want to remind yourself of what you did or explain the code to somebody else. Okay. Right, so before we continue, let me explain to you some basic objects in Excel. You know, when we work with VBA, we need to provide a path that leads to the object you're interested in, basically because we are not mouse click on any particular cell or row or columns, and we simply communicate that to Excel using code. So we need to know the hierarchy in order to do that. So in Excel, the mother of all objects is Excel itself, sometimes referred to as the application object. Within the application object, we have other objects, for example, workbook. The workbook object contains objects such as worksheets and range objects. Range object can be quite general. It can be a column, a row, a table, sometimes referred to as an array, or a single cell. So the example we just did with range A1 and range A2, those are examples of a range with just a single cell. Within a range object, we can have other objects. For example, we can have a cell within a range, a column, or a row within a range. So I show you how this works with an example. Okay. Now let's say, for example, I want to create a table to store my customer pizza order. Now I have the first column is customer name. The second one is maybe pizza type, quantity, and price. Say for example, I would like to fill in the first customer name here. Say for example, I want to fill in Mary. So I can refer to this table by typing range. You see this table start with cell B4 and ends with cell F12. Okay, so I'll refer to it as range B4 to F12. Now the cell that I'm targeting is in the first column, the second cell in the first column, so I will type dot columns with an S 1 because it's in the first column, then dot cells also with an S 2. Now I can assign the value, say Mary, into it. Now you can try to run the code and you will see that it will fill in the cell with the value Mary. Okay. So, even better, you can assign the table to a variable with the dim and set function. So let's see how I do it. I will type dim. Dim is a function for you to create a variable. So I'm going to create a variable named ordering as a type. As a range. So I will type dim ordering as range. Now I will assign the table B4 F12 into this variable, so I would type set ordering equal to range B4 F12. Okay, so now instead of typing range B4 F12, I can just simply use the word ordering. Right, the rest will be the same as the previous commands. I will type columns with an S 1, cells 2, and say now I would like to replace the value with John. Right, and now we can press F8 and see if it works. Oh, type mismatch. So you see the problem is with these with the range name. So we need to put a word range in front of range name, just like in this example. Okay, so we go back and fix that problem. Okay, so I want you to type the word range and put the range name in the bracket. Reset and press F5 or F8 if you want to run one command after another. Right, so you got the value John here, replace with Mary. So replace for Mary, so you got the value John replaced. Okay, so this command works fine when you work with a single worksheet, but when you work with multiple worksheets, you need to add worksheet object in front of it. For example, you want to add another worksheet name in front of the range, and you can use worksheet name or you can use index number. If you type worksheets 1, it will indicate that it's the first worksheet starting from the left. Or you can also use code name, for example, sheet 1 range a1.value. Okay, so that's all for this video. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to use for loop, if functions, and so on. Goodbye.